Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm going to start. Sorry for the inconvenience. We're a few minutes behind time, so I'm just going to start so that we can carry on. Welcome to Teaching Technology for the senior phase. I am Janae Weideman, so I will be the lecturer for this module. We just want to find a way to go forward with the presentation. Okay, so welcome. Like I stated, I'm Janae Weideman. If you can maybe just go back, Rihanna. My email address is over there, janaiw@embry, so you're more than welcome to email me, to ask me any questions if you're unsure about what's going on. Just to show you that's my family and to share something with you. That's my little baby boy of 11 months and my husband. So I'm very eager and excited for the module and for the year ahead. I also did PGCE, so I know how you feel this today and I know what's waiting for you, so good luck. Please feel free to email me or ask me any questions. Most of the communication will be via ECI. So I will upload everything on there. I will put up information regarding that. It's fine if you can't log onto ECI at the moment. I'm just going to go through the PowerPoint. You can go onto ECI afterwards. But if you want to ask me something specific, if you're unsure, there is my email address. I have an open door policy, so you're more than welcome to ask me if you don't understand. So welcome. I wanted to say welcome to everybody, so because I'm not there, here's just a short video to say welcome and to say hi. So yeah, welcome to this module. There we go. Okay, so for this module, the study material, hopefully you have the prescribed book by now. It's Teaching Technology. So if you don't have that, you can get that in the week to come. This is the book. I have it up there on the PowerPoint. Most of the work is coming out of the prescribed book, so make sure that you have that. And then the other thing that's very important is the TechSoft 2D design material, but that will be on ECI, and we're only going to work with that from week 4 and 5, so you don't have to, it's not on ECI as of yet, but it will be up there, so you don't have to get that extra. For now, it's just the prescribed book that's very important. The other thing that's important to me is that you follow the lecture plan in the study letter. So the study letter is available on the ECI. I saw some students went on to that and they already answered the questionnaire over there. So thank you for that. If you haven't done that yet, you can do it after the lecture. Just go onto the ECI and work through your study letter. Everything for the weeks to come, the prescribed reading that you have to do and what I expect of you is on the study letter. And then the assessment guide is also attached on the ECI. So that's all the assignments that you need to do for this module. I'm going to discuss it this evening as well. So we'll briefly go through that. And then you can go through it on your own time. If you have any questions on that, please feel free to ask me. Okay, please be prepared for the lecture. So you will see on the ECI, I will indicate what is the prescribed reading for that week. For this week, it was the CAPS document. So I know we're still on Tuesday, but for the rest of the week, please make sure that you have the CAPS document for technology, grade 7 to 9, and then you read that on your own time. There is a quiz that will open up tomorrow that you can do after you've read the CAPS document. The rest of the material that you should read will be uploaded for you on the ECI, and I will go through that just now. Okay, so this is the lesson plan, and this is in the study letter. So you don't have to take a photo or write everything down at the moment. It is on the ECR, so you can get it there, and then you can go through it on your own time. I just wanted to show you that for now we're busy with Unit 1. The CAPS document for technology, so that's why it's important for you to read this. We're going to go through this in week 1 to 5. So for the next 5 weeks, we're only going to cover the curriculum. And then on the right-hand side, this is very important because that will be your reading for the next session. This is the prescribed material for the first unit. It seems like a lot, but you will see technology has 4 different content areas, and the chapters at the bottom only discusses those 4 content areas. So we're going to go through it every week, so don't be alarmed if you see many chapters. It's going to help you if we get to Unit 2, and we're going to cover it little bit by bit every week. Okay, I'm not going to put up the rest of the lesson plan. You can go through that on your own time. But over here, you will see Unit 2. The weeks will be on your left-hand side. So that will be from week 6 to week 9. And the rest of the material that you need to study for that week, you can see on the right-hand side. Again, there is space on ECI that I've allocated time for reading. So if you went through the reading for that week, you will tick it off on ECI. So the next slide. I also uploaded this for you onto the ECI as a PDF. So you will be able to go through the slides on your own time without me talking on the side. But over here is the hours and the activities that we're going to do for the first 8 weeks. I will put up the rest for you on the ECI. So for the first week, you can see here, this is our face-to-face. We have an involvement tracker, and you're going to do that for every module. So after today, I have a few questions. So the quiz will open tonight, and then you can do the questions based on what we discussed in class today. So it's going to be something that I said in the session now, so you can go through the session prior to doing the assessment. And then through the week, we have different activities. Now, this is where I said you have to read the CAPS document for this week. And if you go onto ECI, there is an activity that says you have to read the CAPS document, and you download it and you tick it as you've done it. So you can follow your own progress to make sure that you do everything for every week. I'm going to ask you a few questions based on what you've read in the document. So that will open up tomorrow. So please make sure that you go onto the ECI tomorrow. You have to read the document, the CAPS technology one, before you do the questions. And then thank you very much for the students who did the questionnaire already. if you haven't done that, this is just for myself so that I can get to know you guys, to find out what your background, where you're coming from, and how I can help you based on if you're in the school already, if you're not in the school, because that will depend, and it will show me how much knowledge you already have on what's going on at school and at what level we can carry on from there. So for the week, just go, please fill in the questionnaire on your own time. You don't get marks for that, but it's to help me to get to know you a little bit more. For next week, we don't have a face-to-face, so you can stay at home. It's a canned session for my module. So I'm going to upload a video that you see up now, but you don't have to come in. It's going to be put onto ECI. Then you're going to have a discussion based on that, and then the rest of the activities will open up on ECI. So I'm just explaining to you what's going to happen. In the end, this is a 12 credit module. Now that means that you have to spend 120 hours on the work. So there you will see the 120 hours, and everything over here is the hours that will build up to that amount. So if you read the material, it helps to build up with the hours that you have to spend in the module. If you do a question or a test or your assignments that's going to start over here, that also piles up to the hours that you have. Okay, but everything is on ECI, so the page will help you to complete this and will show you step by step what's coming. So for now, we're in week 1. I think you guys know this by now. It's a continuous assessment module. So that means you don't have any exams. So everything that we do throughout the module will build up. So everything has a weight, and that will be your module mark in the end. So this is in your assessment guide, and it's on the ECI, but there you will see the weighting of every activity. And I'm quickly going to go through this, but it is explained in the assessment guide, and I will give you guidelines on the page, the ECI page as well, so that you know exactly what to do. You will have the rubric beforehand, so please go through that before you do the assessment. After you've done your assignment, make sure that you covered everything in the rubric, because you know what you're going to get marks for. So the first weighting is 30%. Now the online tests is not one test. There's a few that we will do throughout the module. The first one will be the CAPS questionnaire, or the CAPS quiz that you're going to do this week. So that will be a certain amount of the 30%. The rest of the test is mostly question based on the chapters that you've done in the textbook. Every quiz that you're going to do will count up then to the 30 marks. But before you do the quiz, I will give you a short description of what you should read. So please make sure that you went through that material before you try to do the quiz. So don't go in, otherwise your time will start, and it's based on time. So if you have 30 minutes or 45 minutes and you go in, then you've started your quiz. Okay, the next is assignments. This one, and this one is a little bit bigger assignments that you're going to do. We're going to talk about it now, but the design process model is the big backbone of teaching technology in the senior phase. So you must understand this, and you must be able to apply it, because that will be the main focus regarding skills in the senior phase technology. So this assignment assignment, ask of you to go through chapters in the prescribed book. It is in the assignment, so you can go through it on your own time. And then there's a model in the prescribed book that you're going to use, and then you have to plan, choose a topic that you're going to do and a grade, and you have to plan what exactly are you going to do at each step. For the design step in this model, you're actually going to design a product on that CAD software that I showed you previously, but we're going to do this step by step. So just go read through it for the next week, and then I'm going to ask questions and we'll handle it in more detail. The next one is a lesson plan. Now, eventually we want you to go out and feel confident to actually take the theory and do it in practice. So this will help you to be able to plan a lesson, to feel confident in planning this lesson. I will give you feedback in your lesson, and then you will eventually, hopefully, use this when you go out to the schools and to make sure that you can use the skills and the knowledge that you've learned in class. You will see the prescribed material and pages that you have to read for that assignment is already in the assessment guide, so you can go through that now. The next one is an interview. So there's a few questions in the assessment guide that you're going to ask a teacher at the school. It's based on technology, so it should be a technology teacher at the school where you do your school-based assessment, or you will. So this interview, you're going to ask the questions in the assignment, but you have to work out 5 extra questions, and then you have to answer or ask the teacher these questions, and then based on the feedback, you're going to write an essay for me, but we'll go through this in more detail closer to the time. For now, if you go out to the schools for your 2 weeks observation period, just go talk to a teacher and find out, or tell them you have to do an interview, you have to ask the technology teacher a few questions, and ask if it's fine if you come and do a short interview with him or her. If it's a problem and you can't find anybody, or they don't want you to do it, please let me know as soon as possible so that we can work from there. Then the course involvement tracker is it's the small questions that we going to do, all the reflection, all the discussion after every session. So for this week, it's a really short 10 questions I'm going to do after the session to see if you actually listened and if you followed. The last one is, eventually we want you, although exams and tests are not always the best way to test someone's knowledge and especially their skills. So you will see in technology there's a lot of mini practical assessments that they have to do. So we're going to focus on that, but you have to be able to look at a question for technology in the senior phase, moderate that, know if it's a good question. If you look at Bloom's taxonomy, where is it on the right level? Do I have to change it? Is the answer from the student correct if you're marking that? So we're going to look at a few questions, and that would be 10% of your total mark. Okay. So I just want to stress again that this involvement tracker and the online test is going to be continuous throughout our sessions, and the rest is big assignments that you will hand in on specific dates. The dates will be given to you on ECI, so it's not up here already. You can fill it in on your own time. Okay, so I just want to give you a minute or two to think about a definition of technology. So if I ask you in the educational context, what definition will you give me? If you want to, you can write it down. I don't know, Mr. Matthews, if you want to maybe share your definition with us. Not yet. Okay. So write down what you think, or just think of a definition. And then we're going to look at what the CAPS's definition of technology is, because we have to start at what is technology, especially in the educational context, before we start with this module. Now, if you go to your questions or the background questionnaire on the ECI, you will see the following question. What do you expect to learn in this module? So what are your expectations? Hopefully at the end to be confident, to have the skills, knowledge and value to teach the subject. I just want to share one of the students' feedback on this. So again, thank you very much for answering the background question. The response I got was, I expect to learn and understand the CAPS document. That's awesome, because that's the start. If we have to look at, we're not teaching a curriculum, but you have to understand the curriculum at the school where you are, and you have to use the best practices, the theory part that I'm going to explain from the book, to apply the curriculum. So for now, we're using what's used in the departmental school. So we're looking at the CAPS document, and then having depth knowledge of the core subject content to help enhance my teaching ability and skills, so that I can further impact the right knowledge to my learners. So thank you for that feedback. I appreciate it. Okay, maybe you can just write down your small description of what you think you're going to learn in this module. And then as we go along, you can maybe ask me questions, or if you see it's not in the curriculum, or we're not going to discuss it, please feel free to just highlight that to me, so that I can discuss what you want to discuss, or just elaborate why we're not looking into that in this module. Okay, so now we're actually getting to the content, the CAPS curriculum. So this is from CAPS curriculum on page 4. At the bottom, you will see the page where I found it. And this is in every curriculum from grade R to 12. And I just want to highlight this, because this is very, very important. We're equipping the learners with the knowledge, skills, and values necessary for self-fulfillment and meaningful participation in society as citizens of a free country. So you will see I link everything back to that. In the end, if you finish with the module, you're supposed to have knowledge of technology to help the learners in the senior phase. You're supposed to have skills to teach the learners in the senior phase, and then help them with the values. So yes, I have this knowledge. Yes, I have the skills to solve the problem, to make a product. But what will I do with it? How am I going to help society? How am I going to make a difference? So you will see everything in this PowerPoint, and everything that I talk about will link back to that. Knowledge, skills, and values. Okay, so technology in South Africa was introduced to produce engineers, technicians, artists, and it helps to develop technological, literate population for the modern world. So yes, we're helping the learners to have skills, knowledge, and values for the next phase, but we're also helping them to decide on a career, to decide on what direction they're going to go. So you will see from the CAPS on page 8, The subject stimulates learners to be innovative and to develop the following things. Firstly, creative and critical thinking skills. It teaches them to manage time and material resources effectively. You will see there's a lot of resources that we're going to use, and in the back of the document, they have a list of resources and equipment that a learner in the senior phase should use. And then thirdly, it provides the opportunity for collaborative learning and nurtures teamwork. Okay, so I asked you for a short definition. Maybe you've written it out now. Maybe you have an idea in your head what you think we're going to do in technology. Maybe you are a current teacher in a school, so you have an idea and you know the CAPS by heart, but this is from your CAPS document. The use of knowledge, skills, values, and resources. Can you see the three things over here again? Knowledge, skills, values, and resources to meet people's needs and wants by developing practical solutions to problems, taking social and environmental factors into consideration. So this will link again to the value part. So in the end, we're solving problems. So that's where the creative and critical thinking comes in. We have to help the learners with knowledge, yes, but skills as well. In technology, the knowledge is not as important as the skills. And hopefully by now, if you don't know it, the main focus is the design process. That's the skills that the learner should have, and that will help them to solve the problems that either you give them or they're going to identify the problems on their own. Okay. So in the end, we're contributing towards learners' technological literacy. So what does that mean? The following things, and you will see the skills, knowledge, and values again. Firstly, to develop and apply specific design skills to solve problems. Secondly, understand the concepts and knowledge. So there's the knowledge again, used in technology education, and to use this knowledge responsibly and purposefully, so that you can link back to your values. Yes, I have this knowledge. Yes, I have the skills and the concept, but what am I going to do with it? Am I making something or solving a problem that's only a problem for me? Is it something that's a problem for the whole school or for the community? And then the last one also links to your values. Appreciate the interaction between people's values, attitudes, technology, society, and the environment. Okay. So for the senior phase, you will see over here, this is 2 hours that you have for technology. But because it's a very practical class, they have to learn skills, they have to actually make a product in some of the mini practical activities. You will see that they suggest that you do an hour session once per week. So you have time to do a practical with the learners. So if you have periods of 30 minutes, then this will be a 30 minutes put together. So this hours, the 2 hours, is the hours per week that you have with the learners in technology. And you must make sure that there's enough time to do the practical part. Okay, so this is where I said, remember I said there's a lot of chapters that you have to study in your book for the first unit, but it links back to the topics and the core content areas in technology. So the topic areas for technology is as follows. The design process skills. This is the chapter that you have to look in your prescribed book. You have structures, processing of materials, mechanical systems and control, electrical systems and control. So with these two, you will see it's only one chapter that you have to go through. And then the last one is technology, society, and the environment. And then chapter 7 is an overview. So there's a section over there where they talk about the society and the environment and what this means. Okay, so this is the topics that you get, but we have core content areas. The 4 content areas is the ones in blue. So that's your content areas: structures, processing of materials, mechanical systems and control, and electrical systems and control. And everything you do based on that links back to the design process, because that's your backbone of this module. And if you work out an activity for the learners to do, it's very good to integrate everything. So there should be integration between the 4 content areas, and you will see that the activities that they have, the mini pads in the CAPS document, link everything together. I have an example on the slide, so you will see there's structures and mechanical systems, systems that they linked over there. Okay, this design process, we're going to go through this in much more detail later on, but I just want to highlight a few things. So this is a non-linear process. So you can investigate at any time. So you will see the arrows going up and down there. So with investigation, you identify a problem. Now in grade 7 and grade 8, I'm going to show you later on, we give the learners the problem. So you will have a case study that you give them, and based on that, we will solve that problem. But for the grade 9 group, they have to identify a real life problem in their area or what's happening at school, and they have to solve that. Then design, make, and evaluate goes together, and again, you can design the product that's going to solve the problem, and then you can evaluate that. So you don't have to go through the structure of design, making, and then evaluating. The evaluation can be at any stage. Then you actually make the product, and at the end, the learner should communicate. Now that you can decide either in writing or PowerPoint or discussion, and the communication will be after evaluation as well. But we're going to go through this process later on. For now, it's important to remember that knowledge is important, but the learners must show that they can use the knowledge and not just memorize it. Okay. That's why the practical part is so important, and I stated previously that we don't just focus on the exams and the test questions. Okay, so what shoe can you see over there? A Nike shoe, it's a free. Do you think any design went into that shoe? Yes or no? Yes. Do you think that shoe is perfect as is? Do you think they can still change it? Yes. So everything that's man-made went through a process. So no product has ever been manufactured that did not undergo development through the design process or a process that they use. So basically here, you're helping the kids to understand that this is the problem that we have, or to help them to identify something. But then what do we do after that? We leave it, it's somebody else's problem. No, we teach them skills to solve this problem. And we're going to use the design process, investigation, designing, making, evaluating, and communicating. So I'm just going to show you a short clip out of a video. The video is on ECI, so you can go watch the rest of it from there.
Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that I didn't give a crap about when I was a student, and that was design process. And the reason is because a lot of students, when we're first starting off, we kind of just want to jump into the fun stuff, actually designing, finalizing, and rendering, and making things look super cool, right? And so usually we just jump right into the solution. Just we're there after just a couple of sketches, but design professors, what they try to teach us is you have to go through the process to start developing, what you're going to end up with. And so to figure out this methodology is a little more of an advanced skill. And so first you learn the technical stuff, how to program, how to draw.
Janae?
Yes.
I'm sorry to stop you, but we're unfortunately not getting the audio from your clip, and we are just approaching the end of this lecture. So if I can ask you to just refer your students to watch it on the ECI site, that'll be best.
Okay, great. Thank you, Simon.
We've got about 2 minutes left. Sorry to stop you like that.
Okay, no, it's fine. So you can go watch, like I said, the rest is on ECI. I'm just going to show you the last things and just go through it in the CAPS document, and then hopefully we have a minute for questions. So this is the mini plat that I talked about. It's a practical assessment. This is from an example in the CAPS document. Here you can see the content and the topic. So there's the two that link together that I stated previously. So just go read through your CAPS document on your own time. You will see there's a map as well for the design process. So here you can follow for the grade 7s what they should do, for the grade 8s what they should do, and there's the pages for the CAPS, and this is the knowledge part at the back on page 52. Okay, so is there any questions for me at this stage? Don't know if you have any questions. Is there any questions on your side, Simon?
Hi, Janine. No questions.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Enjoy your afternoon, guys. Remember to go onto the ECI, do the small quiz for the session part, and then there will be a longer quiz for the CAPS document.